Hey, what's up, Unrevealed? Good to see you, man.
Next on the
This is
agenda,
totally the first time I'm seeing
we're way
you,
behind
so to
schedule.
speak, this evening. Yeah, totally not the
Next on the
second time.
agenda,
You boomed the slug. I don't
we're way
think you
behind
boomed the
schedule.
slug, man. If by slug you mean my internet service provider, then probably, you boomed it alright. Internet slugger. Oh, well, there's some more evidence. My internet is not very good today. Look at my ping. And oh, can you hear that? The sound of when
Born
the
of ice and frost.
the dink sound of when I press to switch characters and when it actually switches characters. And I don't know if you could see that, but when the projectile hits the enemies and when the damage number comes out. That is kind of disgusting, man. Boink, boink. Yep, yep, yep.
We're way behind schedule.
Okay, that seemed normal. But I wasn't in combat. I was just walking. Oh man, I can feel it in opening menus too. Like when I click on something, click. Okay, not that. Maybe a domain. Yeah, see that? Wow. Dude, that delay. When I click the domain and when the side thing comes out. Oh, there's a delay there. Okay. I saw that one. It gets worse in combat.
Stabilize.
No touching.
Clouds high.
Oh my goodness.
Birds call. Kick.
I went there and everybody knew you. Oh my god. What village? I'm surprised you managed to survive. You know, surprised you managed to come out alive. You died? Oh well, what did come out though? Something came out. And if you say you died, and what I wonder what came out. Brought forth salvation. Resurrection, third day after, oh my god. To atone for their sins. This doesn't usually happen, but I got 2 bounties in 1 week, immune to the same thing, the same element. Very, I don't remember ever experiencing something like that.
Skyward. Scatter.
Oh, my ping seems to be normal now. I saw it at 227. $228. All right, that seems normal. I may need to fix this. That's happened twice now, where it's just put me in a wall. Okay, that's certainly a lot better.
This realm is truly beginning to...
Oh, I felt lag there just now again. Just opening that menu. Wow, how much stuff in Genshin isn't locally done? Because I've noticed when I play on the Asia server,
If
my
you
ping's
ever
like
have any
80-ish.
questions-
And when I click on like domains and stuff on the map, like I click this. Oh my god, did you see that? Oh god, that's kind of painful. that delay is kind of painful. Wow. Jeez. And here I thought my ping went back to normal. Oh, yep, there we go. 280, 270. Anyway, how's your weekend, Unrevealed? Anything interesting happen?
Solidify!
Ring cutter! No, my sword!
Quiet. Take it easy. Let me leave you alone. Here comes the catch. Gotcha.
Come back.
Gather!
Rain outlines your fate. Know my sword. Witness the power of Kagura. Quiet. Things are about to get dicey.
Jeez, 310 ping, huh? Oh, what is this? I've never seen that one before.
Stabilize!
Rain outlines your fate. Gotcha. Rain cutter. Time to act.
Man, I don't think tonight's the night for streaming. My ping is all over the place. The first stream buffered to oblivion. And here I am now, ping all over the place. If I don't stop this now, I might end up just complaining about my internet the whole stream, for the whole stream.
Let me lead you a verse. Quiet now. Here comes the cat.
Stabilize.
Body of power. Busted. Rain outlines your fate. Huh?
Solidify.
Ring cutter. Quietly now. Things are about to get dicey. No, my sword. Huh? Witness the power of Kagura. Game's up. Time's over. Rain outlines your fate. Huh?
Gather.
Here comes the catch. Gotcha. Ring cutter. Time to act.
What? Oh, I thought it didn't hit. It just lagged, I guess. Are they just casually streaming every day now? Hey, I skipped Saturday. I did skip Saturday, so yeah. And what do you mean casually? I'm having issues right now. I guess you probably didn't see this the stream? Yeah, the first stream this evening. It was awful. It was awful. It was buffering all over the place. My bitrate was all over the place. Nobody could watch it properly. And here I am, trying to do my weeklies with 300 ping. Anyway, what's up, Kazuha? How was your weekend, man? You know, I was in quite a good mood until like about how long does that ago? Until about half an hour ago. Right, when I clicked start streaming, and then YouTube gave me the yellow bar thing that, you know, is like a warning or like something wrong, something being wrong with the screen, like low bit rate and stuff. And then lo and behold, my bit rate was actually really low. It was okay. I took a rest on Genshin this week. Oh, really? Well, did you at least get your login stuff though? Your 10 pulls from the login event.
I am the all-knowing God. Burn to oblivion. Kneel. tremble.
Not really. You okay with losing out on those? Only gone you simps buy your skin. I think only simps buy any skin in any video game ever. Especially when it's an anime game.
Cruel world.
Born of ice and frost. We're way behind schedule.
Not possible. Stabilize.
This way, Harrier. No touching.
Let's light it up!
I can't lose it all again.
And the 300 ping is definitely not making this gameplay enjoyable. Can't buy skins because I'm F2P. I can get constellations, but I can get constellations just like my C2 Raiden. Yoimiya. Her weapon took my engulfing lightning. No, dude, don't be like that. Yoimiya's a nice girl. It had nothing to do with your weapon banner mishap. Who should I get? Nivelet or Kazuha for 4.5? Jeez, they're rerunning already? If that... Wow, I'm royally screwed then. If that does end up being true, I'm gonna be royally screwed because, like, I was actually wanting to get Nivelet C2, maybe even C3 and his weapon. But then, like, that was, you know, if his rerun was, like, gonna be a long while from now. Give me time to save up. But if it's right next to... if it's the very next version update, then absolutely not. I also wanted to get C2 Kazuha. C2 Kazuha seems like a very vertical investment. And I've had Kazuha for long enough, and I think it's time for me to get constellations of him. Definitely not super necessary though, but yeah. So Kazuha versus Nivelet. That is both of them at least from my perspective, both of them are as valuable as each other. But because they fill very different purposes, I think the choice is up to you. Either you want you have to think about what Kazuha does, and you have to think about what Nivelet does. Nivelet does a lot of damage with or without a team. And what's his name? Kazuha is one of the best supports in the game. And so you have to figure out like what they do. So Nivelet, pretty easy, right? Does a lot of damage with or without a team. Not very hard to build as well. Just get a usable, or I should say, hunter set, and then perfect, right? Solo everything in the game. Now for Kazuha, you have to think about what he does. So crowd control, good. Is that the type of crowd control you want? Right, like the type of crowd control where you hold E and then everything comes towards you, whereas, you know, compared to like a Venti, for example, everything is grouped up in front of you. With Sucrose, everything's grouped up in front of you. With Nahida, it's kind of like crowd control. It's like a pseudo crowd control. It's more like just AoE damage instead of crowd control, but kind of crowd control, I guess. Other than that, like all the overworld benefits that you get with Kazuha. Like for example, Okay, like being able to press E while gliding, while jumping, while climbing. You just have to let go of the wall and then press E. Uh, it's quite a lifesaver in exploration.
Skyward, scatter.
Right? Think about it. You have Kazuha. You're trying to get to that other like roof over there, and then you're gliding, and you come up short. And nope. I wasn't short. Didn't come up short because Kazuha was there. Right? So there's that. Plus the EM. No, not EM. The damage percent buff he provides. Yep. And essentially making overworld kind of a joke. Right, you just put one of the pet elements on any one enemy in the group, you hold E, and then you plunge, and then everything's dead. And that's on a full EM Kazuha build. I'm so screwed because I really want Kazuha, but Nivelle is too good of a DPS to pass up. I know, right? That's a rough choice, not gonna lie. And Kazuha is also such a not only is he good like DPS wise, but he's also quite a quality of life character, right? So like, which one do you? Okay, I guess you have to look at your account. You have to look at your account. Are you in need of another DPS, or do you already have two perfectly usable teams in most combat situations for end game content in the game? If you have that, like you don't like if you have that, if you feel like you're in that situation where you already have two teams on your account that can deal with pretty much everything that you've experienced so far, like all the different Abyss iterations, etc., with relatively minor issues, then I would say Neuvillette is probably less of a priority, unless if you just want a new DPS, right? Like you want new gameplay, and when I say gameplay, like, because he's a DPS, you sort of build the team around him. So that's, because he's a DPS, he sort of gives you a new like kind of team, because you build the team around him. Whereas with Kazuha, he is sort of part of the team, and you put Kazuha in like many kinds of teams that basically function already in the way that they would with or without Kazuha. So yeah, those are some of the things that you have to think about, which one is more of a priority for you. I don't know why always pyro girls are after me. Gosh, you won Hu Tao under 50 pulls. I lose two 50-50s, two Dia in a row. Shangling is the only pyro girl who isn't after me. Oh no. I mean, C1 Hu Tao is not bad, but if you have Xianyun, then it's kind of not necessary, unless if you don't like using Hu Tao plunge. But man, Shangling, that's unfortunate. Guess I'll go for Neuvillette because I have his signature. You have his signature, but you didn't get Neuvillette? What happened, bro? So hard to decide because Neuvillette's and Kazuha are running together, and also Farina is rerunning 4.6. Jeez. That is wow, what a juicy if those rumors end up coming true. Wow. That's all I can say, really. I don't think Hoyo has ever run banners. Like, I mean, like, not all of them are juicy, right? Like, for example, like this set of banners. Okay, well, there's Nahida, right? Like, and Xianyun is not amazing, but she makes your account kind of more fun, right? She makes any account kind of more fun. Man, how do I? Yeah, and if that does end up being true, right? Like Neuvillette and Kazuha in the next banner, and before 4.6, Yeah, before 4. What version update were you at? 4.4. We had Raiden Shogun. In 4.2, we had Farina. Wow. I don't think we've ever had something like that before. Like, certainly not all the banners were like juicy banners, but just a bunch of banners that are anywhere from decent to really good in quick succession. I don't remember a time ever like that happening.
I'll think about it.
I'm not going to get Xianyun, so C1 Hutao is OP. Yeah, I mean, like, C1 Hutao doesn't give you that much more DPS on Hutao, but boy, is it comfortable to use. It's also a lot more satisfying, and it's essentially not copium. I remember when I first got my Hutao, I only had her C0 until her first rerun on my second account. And not gonna lie, that whole time, no Homa, no Dragonsbane, just me and my Black Cliff pole on C0 Hutao. Not gonna lie, doing jump attacks, jump cancels, kind of felt copium. Kind of felt copium. And I was only doing like 30k charged attacks on Hutao. I was only doing like around 30k charged attacks. But then, on our next rerun, I got Homa, I got C1, and I guess that was just the difference between Homa and Blackcliff Pole. But my charged attacks went all the way up to like 50 or 60k. But man, that was a crazy time. Crazy time. For getting Hutao 45 pity, C1 Hutao or no. Getting Hutao is 45 pity, C1 Hutao 9 pity. Okay, it went Homa, and Tom said you should have pulled Nebulet. Okay. Alright, I get it. C1 Hutao is really OP for me because I play in 24 pity. What? What? I don't get it. R2 Dragon Spain, Hutao does 55 65k charge stacks without Zhongli. Why not just 100% every region and pull all three? Well, 100%ing a region does not get you that many primos. I don't think it even gives you like 1,000. I don't know. I could be wrong, but yeah, I don't think, especially starting from 4.0, these regions are relatively small, in terms of like number of chests that are in them compared to like previous regions. So I don't know. I don't think it would even get you a 10 pull. 24 FPS. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. That is certainly gonna help. Yeah, because at low FPS, you're more likely to be like doing stuff, like doing each action and each attack. How would I best describe it? Like on point, right? Like right after one another. You're more likely to miss a few frames, and have quite a few frames where you're not doing anything. So C1 Hutao certainly just makes it so that you could just like spam. You got 0% exploration in Sumeru. You haven't gone to Sumeru at all? 0%. It basically means you just went there, probably. Yeah, you just went there, and you just resonated with Dendro to get your Dendro Traveler. That's exactly what I did on my Asia account.
Solidify.
Man, this lag. I'm sure you could see that when the arrows are hitting the enemies and when the damage is coming out. I have how many? Where? Wait. How would you even know that? Did I pick up one of them? Why can't I find it? Hang on. Should be here, right? Am I dumb? I can't see it. Am I an idiot? An onion. I don't see it. You stupid. Hey, what's up, Chauvin? How are you, man? Getting too busy in life? Hey, such is life, man. That's just part of being alive. I imagine they're circular, right? So, okay, those are Sango pearls, Vale berries. They're like orange, right? Orange/red. How do you even collect that much crystal flies to extinction? I sort of you know committed crystal fly genocide. and I didn't just do it on one account. I did it on all three of my accounts. All three of my accounts at one point had 9999, essentially 10,000 crystal cores. So in total, I collected 30,000 crystal cores. Well, more than that, because obviously there's the ones that I use. You know, I use the condensed resin with. They are consumables, are they? Well, you know, I'm a consuming. Yeah, I'm a consumer, so I'm consuming. Yeah, but I guess you're saying you're a consumable because you're saying they're a consumable and not a collectible. I'll stay in your stream today. Hey, appreciate it, Chauvin. Wouldn't be a stream without you guys. If it was just me. If it was just me here, it would just be me showing what I'm doing to the internet, but there's no one there, so it's not really the internet. And when is my ping going back to normal?
Witness the power of Kagura. Rain outlines your fate. Gone. It's on fire. When
I don't know why I can't find the 5% on a map. And 1% on another map. You're probably just exploring on your own. Whenever I 100% a map, Thriller earlier today, in my first attempt this evening at trying to stream, you know, but my ISP had other plans. Asked how do I 100% a map. He asked whether I follow a video or just do random exploration, and my answer to that is I just follow a video. I can't be bothered with exploring on my own, especially once you get to like 97, 96, 90, 99%. It's just I just don't have the patience for it. Kill the pyro crab. With Nibblet, it will become steamed yummy crabs. Well, that makes sense. I'm sure Wuthering Waves will take over Genshin. I mean, if it does, then Genshin is certainly going to try to get better. Oh wait, what was this immune to? Did pay attention. Dendro.
Stabilize.
No touching.
As one with wind and cloud, wind strike.
Alright, well, you know, I don't no longer show your logo when I talk? What do you mean, show my logo when I talk? RJ, can you show Hu Tao damage with Zhongli and without Zhongli? I want to see how much stronger my Hu Tao will be after getting Zhongli. Oh wow, really? You don't have Zhongli yet? Okay, okay, sure. It's not that much, really. It's not that much. It's just the minus 20 resistance. And that highly depends on what you are. It's not going to be consistent. Really, it's not going to be consistent because of how resistances work. So if you're fighting an enemy that has 20% pyro resistance, and you turn on your Zhongli shield, so now that enemy has 0 pyro resistance, so you're doing full damage to it. But if that enemy has 40% pyro resistance, you'll just you'll just deal a bit more damage to it because it's only got 20% resistance instead of 40. But if you're fighting an enemy that has 0% pyro resistance, and this is a thing that I think a lot of people don't realize is when resistances go to 0 in Genshin, and you still keep
No touching.
what's the word I'm looking for? You keep trying to make it go down. I'm sure there's a better word. I just can't think of it right now. You keep reducing it. There you go. Yeah, you keep reducing resistances even when they're at 0. Resistance reduction below 0 is only 50% of what the resistance reduction is. So if an enemy has 0% resistance, pyro resistance, and you have 20%, you reduce pyro resistance by 20% by just having Zhongli's shield around you and standing near that enemy's pyro resistance doesn't actually go to -20. It only goes to -10. So it varies a lot. It varies a lot, very much. So we're gonna try it out with the ruin. I don't know what these things are called. I don't think they're ruin enemies, but yeah, let's give it a try. Where'd Ganyu skin go? Dude, didn't you notice me switch accounts? I switched accounts, dude. This is my, and I'm sure you noticed this isn't C6 Ganyu. I'm not like insta charge shotting anymore. Okay, I'm not gonna use Yelan just so damage is consistent, because Yelan has like her passive makes it so that you get like a damage percent bonus that is ramping up. So I'm not gonna use Yelan. We're just gonna use whoever, just the second Hydro. And I'm not gonna use Farina's burst. New Leagues of Wuthering Waves are really good. CBD Closed Beta 2 will come out on February 19th. Okay. Hang on. Being an opponent gives 50% chance and current skill. Okay. Okay, we'll use that. It's not. It's a non-offensive card. Okay.
Time to act. Let me read you.
No shield
Rain
first.
outlines your fate.
All right. 40. 279. Okay. 279. Now a Zhongli shield.
Solidify.
Witness the power of Gugwa.
46,992. Yeah, you see that? Like the old videos where you just your logo on the screen and use a bot to talk. Use a bot to talk? I've never done that. I don't even know how to use a bot. If I knew how to use a bot, I would have done that to like I would have used that to like what's the word I'm looking for? Like to occasionally chat in my stream and just say like ask people to like don't forget to like the stream, subscribe, etc. Like Happy's been egging me on over and over again for ages to do that, and he even shared a video with me, and I don't know, I don't think it's really. It would be great. It would be the right thing for me to do, but I guess I'm just too lazy to do it. Or I just I take whatever free time I have and I use it to just relax and just relieve myself of stress. 6k damage increase? About so, yeah, about a 6k damage increase. RJ, are you American? No, I am Filipino. If I was American, honestly, I don't know what my life would be like if I was American. I would probably have a very different line of work than I do now. Like your old videos? I don't have a bot, dude.
Stabilize.
I think you're talking about
Let it be known.
maybe
That
you just
divinity is
randomly
mine.
saw like a specific part of my videos that I like typed something into Google Translate and then I I hit the what's it called, the read button thing.
Gather. Insignificant pest.
Also, that robot you're talking about is probably me. Probably me on a different microphone.
My endless cycle begins.
Did your Hu Tao have artifacts? Yeah, she's fully built. Hu Tao has her own stuff. Nobody else on my accounts except for the main account. Oh no, actually, you know what? That's a lie. Yeah. Nobody else except for Hu Tao and Diluc have Fort Crimson. Except for now, though. Diluc is now on Shiminawa.
Burn to oblivion. Gather.
Oh man, I didn't realize that would push me. Wait, his foot can block my Ganyu's arrows? Okay. I've sort of just been attuned to just not hitting this guy until his vulnerable phase. So I've forgotten that you can actually hit him in this phase.
Is pain.
Who's the most beautiful Filipino women? I really don't know. That would be, according to me. I mean, like, you ask me that question, I'm gonna be very biased. I'm gonna say my wife, obviously.
Kneel! Solidify!
I don't really
riddance, cruel
know
world.
anyone in the Philippines. Like, I don't really pay attention to celebrities. In fact, like, you show me a celebrity's face, I'll think, I'll probably say, oh, her, cool, I like her, she looks good. I remember seeing her in that one movie 20 years ago. But then I won't know who they are. I really just couldn't care much about celebrities.
Roll.
Much less online what's it called, influencers.
I can't lose it all again.
Hu Tao build. Here she is. This is my second account, Hu Tao. She has 0 EM, unfortunately, but I just couldn't be bothered to farm the Crimson Domain anymore. Or even Strongbox for Crimson Pieces. I was like, okay, it's usable now, so why bother building anymore? I mean, she's strong enough for, she's plenty strong enough for plenty strong for basically any combat content in the game already, even though she's not fully maxed out. Weird thing about me too is, in fact, I sort of don't even like celebrities. Most especially in the Philippines. Not all, but most of them. Because most of them are they're like Westerners when it comes to social media. They make everything into a big deal because they know that no publicity is bad publicity. Whether it's good publicity or bad, it is publicity, and therefore they are becoming more famous, and more famous celebrity equals more potential jobs. I'll check my Hu Tao damage in the same place and see how strong mine is. My HP difference might not be much since Homa was deactivated. Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot. I was above 50% HP. Also, I didn't have the... Oh, Hu Tao is passive too, yeah. I forgot about that. Well, I mean, you did only ask me for a damage test, just to see the difference between Zhongli shield or no Zhongli shield. You didn't ask me to like fully max out damage. Cebu? No, I'm not from Cebu. Where? I did live in Cebu, and I have quite a few relatives in Cebu, both on my mom's side and my dad's side. Well, some in Cebu and some in neighboring cities, like Talisay and do I have any relatives in Mandalay? I don't think so. Any relatives in Lapu-Lapu? I'm not sure. No, nobody in Lapu-Lapu. If RJ was American, 100% would be from Texas. Alright. I wouldn't mind being from Texas. Yeah. The one thing I would mind about Texas would probably be... Uh-oh. I was a bit distracted. I didn't kill it quick enough. Probably all the random wildlife that you just see inside your house. I used to watch, like, for a very long time. I used to watch this YouTube channel. Like, they're not even just a YouTube channel. They're sort of like a company, and they're like a media company. Yeah, they're like a media company, and they make essentially they make lots of different kinds of content. Actually, essentially this channel called Achievement Hunter. They also have another channel called Let's Play. Oh, I'm gonna get in here. I'm hiding destruction this time too. Let's Play and Achievement Hunter. Used to watch them for a really long time. And I remember one of their like main cast members named Michael showed on their, they have this podcast. I don't remember which podcast it is because they have a podcast that is straight from their like the parent company, which is Rooster Teeth, and a podcast that is just specifically Achievement Hunter. And I don't remember if Michael shared it on what did they call their main podcast? Oh, just Rooster Teeth podcast. I forgot. Yeah, Rooster Teeth podcast, and their Achievement Hunter podcast was called no, I can't remember, but yeah, whatever it was called. I don't remember which podcast he shared it on, but he shared a picture of the inside of his home, and just this giant, like, not a, obviously not a, like, dog size, but just a scorpion the size that I've never seen myself before, like in person. Biggest scorpions I've ever seen is just about the size of my palm, like excluding my fingers, just my palm. But then, like, that picture Michael shared on one of their podcasts was like the size of a little longer than my entire hand, including my finger, including my, like, the length of my hand, including, like, from the tip of my middle finger to, like, my wrist. A little longer than that. It was huge. It was huge. I don't think I would ever want to live in Texas just because of that fact. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I would probably never ever consider living in Texas or Australia. Because they're pretty similar in that regard. Unless if if I just had like a really good opportunity, like job opportunity or something in Texas or Australia, then of course I would just bury it.
Solidify.
My girlfriend is from Cebu, and you know what? I'm from India. Oh, really? Wow, how'd you guys meet? Where'd you guys meet?
Body and mind. Let me leave you a place. Quietly now. Gotcha. Game's up. Time's over.
Jeez, the 290 ping is not helping me in any way. Okay, activate the skill here. Stand up over here.
Quietly now. Here comes the count.
50 HP, huh? I think I'm going to die here. If I... Oh dear. I don't think my revival food is off cooldown yet. Best place in the US is North Dakota? Really? What's up with North Dakota? We met on Facebook. Ah, I see.
Stabilize.
Rain outlines your fate. Know my sword. Busted. Gotcha. Game's up. Time's over. Ring cutter.
You know, I don't think I've ever. No. Yeah. As far as I remember, I don't think I've ever had like anything similar or anything resembling like an online a girlfriend or like a friend that is a girl who I've met just on the internet.
Witness the power of Kagura.
I was just too much of a square, especially when I was a kid. Well, not kid, but like younger than now, and pre-marriage, pre-having a girlfriend. Yeah, what's up with North Dakota, Chauvin? Wish RJ will face reveal one day. I mean, I have thought about that, but then I sort of thought that I'll do that for something really special, like and when I say really special, I mean like really really special. Even though I think it's not ever going to happen, even though I think it's sort of maybe not impossible, but pretty close to impossible. So I sort of like set that up as like either like 100,000 subs or like 500,000 or even a million, depending on like how things go. But obviously, with at the rate that I'm going and with the little effort that I'm putting into YouTube, that's definitely not gonna happen at this rate, right? But yeah, I have thought about it, and the reason why I set it up to a bar that is essentially impossible is that I would really prefer not to, because I feel like when I do, I feel like I'm gonna feel more obliged to stream with my webcam on. And the thing with having a webcam on is, well, I actually gotta clean up. I actually gotta clean up and look nice on camera and stuff. And I have to have my lighting on, and I don't like having lights in front of my face. In fact, I'm so happy that the software that I use for work has like a built-in like function where essentially the feature is called enhanced video quality, and it doesn't really do anything special aside from like it just takes the video feed and it sort of tries to detect whether like it's too bright or too dark, and it adjusts I guess like brightness, gamma, what looks like exposure. I imagine it's probably not exposure because it's not in camera, it's just, you know, using an algorithm to change the brightness and gamma of the video. But I'm so happy that it has that feature, because it means and it does a pretty decent job, you know, good enough for the type of work that I do. And yeah, I'm pretty happy because it means the only time I will ever need to turn on my my light for my face is if it's really dark. But that's never really the case, because like all I gotta do is just turn on my, you know, the light in my room, and then like I don't need to turn on the light in front of my face anymore. The only time I've ever needed the light in front of my face is if I use the other software that I used to use a long time ago. And I still have one specific student who prefers to use that software, and he's the only one that I have to use my light on, my face light. Is I guess how I would call it. RJ has mountains of garbage behind his webcam. No, not behind my webcam. In front of my webcam. It's called RJ. uh, hmm. Oh man, really didn't want to have to take care of this on stream. Dude. Okay. I don't really like artifact organization. I like getting good artifacts, but I hate having to organize them. Like looking for which ones can roll. Especially because, I don't know, like at this point, I sort of have most of the artifacts that I need to complete the game. Now, can I still get better artifacts on more appropriate artifact sets? Yes, definitely. But do I need them to clear Really? Really? I've had 3 chances to get more rolls, more rolls on substats, and out of 4 substats, the 3 out of 4 times. No, sorry, that's the wrong way to put it. Out of 4 substats, it just managed to roll everything except for the one I want. Really? See, this is why I don't like. This is why I don't like looking at my artifacts anymore. And by artifacts, I mean like looking at what artifacts I can or cannot upgrade. Because like I see one, and then I'm like, oh, okay, this can be something, and it kind of like I just can't help it. It gets my hopes up. Yeah. It gets my hopes up. Seeing something that has a chance to be usable and then end up being just... It's like Hoyo thought to themselves, no. Try and imagine this at like the conference room for like how like them planning what types of content they're gonna add to the game, like how like basically a discussion for like all the different kinds of gameplay in the game, and thinking right at the end of the meeting, thinking, but sir, where's the end game? And then like the boss just says, well, this is it. Which one? Spiral Abyss? But it's too easy. It's not endgame. It's just something to do. And then you're just like, oh, okay, but this is the endgame. And then the the random developer is like, but there's no endgame. And then boss just says, oh, you know what? Let's add like 69 levels of RNG to the artifact system. Yeah, that'll be the endgame. You know, make it something that's impossible to perfect. Yeah, impossible, but not completely impossible, right? So in that way, people will keep hoping and wanting and trying. I just realized I apparently crossed. Wow, when did that happen? I don't remember when that happened. I've been stuck at below 100 for quite a long time. I've been stuck at around 96 to 98 for a really long time. I didn't realize when I crossed 100. Also, what's up, Shinrin? Good to see you, man. Good morning, RJ. Great to see you right after waking up. Hey, what's up? Good morning, Shuri. How are you, man? Why is RJ thumbnail for every stream a 4-star pull? It's, dude. You see how many subs I got, right? You see how like when the last time I uploaded a video on YouTube, right? And you see nothing on the screen. Like in fact, I don't even have like any sort of alerts set up in OBS for like if ever somebody, like throws money at the screen at me. And I feel bad about it because like anybody who is willing to like donate or do anything, throw money at the screen, like I feel bad because like it's their hard-earned money, and then like they don't even get any like feedback even on the screen when they do it. But essentially what I'm saying is I'm a very low effort person on YouTube, and so I just decided what would be like a good generic thumbnail that I could use in case I don't make one before I start a stream. And then at the time I was just wishing, and then I thought, how about this? Oh wait, quickly screenshot, bam, screenshot, saved, done. Been using the same thumbnail, been using the same image for like what 2-3 years now. I don't even remember how long I've been streaming. RJ, I don't want more endgame because it's not skill based. It's not a skill based game. But sorry, I'm confused. You're saying so Genshin is not a skill based game? So you're saying you don't want any more endgame in Genshin because Genshin is not a skill based game. Well, the thing is, like, Genshin is a lot of things, right? There's like all the mini games and stuff. There's like the events. There's the story quests, Archon quests, etc. So a bunch, and there's obviously the overworld exploration, like doing puzzles and stuff, and like opening chests and stuff. Some of the chests are locked behind enemies that you have to fight. So technically, there's combat, aka needing at least a little amount of skill to destroy those enemies, and skill to at least build your characters to fight off those enemies. Are you American or no, my friend? I am Filipino. If I was American, I have no idea what my life would be like now. But yeah, and there's like obviously there's Spiral Abyss, and every now and then we get a combat event, right? So there is at least some skill in some content in Genshin. At this point, Genshin isn't even just a game; it's more like a brand. And then in the game, in this like what game engine, there's like a bunch of like other content for us to do. Right? Like for example, in if you play something like Plants vs Zombies, for example, the game is just to set up your plants, make sure the zombies don't eat your brains. That's it. That's the game. In Genshin, there's like a million things to do. The accent got me confused. Oh, well, I mean, I still am, and I was, and I still am I'm quite a bit of a stickler for, quite a bit of a stickler for what I think, how I think things should be. When I was a kid, watched cartoons, right? Obviously. Well, thankfully I was one of the lucky ones in my city that had cable. Sorry, I'm looking for artifacts I could raise. And so I had cable, so I had Cartoon Network, I had Disney. What else did I have? HBO, Star Movies, Cinemax. Don't really remember what else. I guess I don't remember what Jack TV used to be. I remember Jack TV used to be something else, but I don't remember what it used to be. And so and I'm 31. Am I 31? Yeah, I'm 31 years old. So I grew up in the late 90s and the 2000s, right? And during that time in the Philippines, speaking in English wasn't really like a common thing. In fact, like in any Filipino movie, you would almost never hear anybody say an English word. Unless if they were like trying to tell a joke, and there were certain celebrities who were comedians, and that was sort of part of their like character, their on-screen persona, where like being funny for them would sometimes include speaking in English. And other than them, the only English that I've ever heard anybody speak was from Hollywood movies, HBO Cinemax Star movies, and cartoons, Cartoon Network, and Disney. So before I even had English class in school, I realized that these people are speaking a different thing. I remember asking my mom about it, and then she said, "Oh, they're speaking in English." And then I realized, okay, I guess this is because they're a different kind of people, or it's a different language. And then when I realized that, I thought, okay, so these people are speaking what is called English, and they speak it like this. And then by the time that we had English class in school, I was pretty excited because like before we had English class in school, I obviously Hollywood movies, you got cool main characters, you got badass main characters, you got funny main characters, etc., right? And obviously I wanted to emulate that. I wanted to copy what they did. I wanted to copy how they did things, how they spoke, etc. And so I would, very often try to like copy like badass pickup lines or badass like one-liners that they would say. And I did, and I even tried my best to copy it in exactly the same way that they said it, because anything less than 100% exactly the same for me, for like 6-7-year-old me, 6-7-8-year-old me was not acceptable, and that was a thing that I grew up with. And by the time that I got English class in school, I was pretty excited because English class in school, does that mean we get to speak to each other in English? I get like the English teacher, I could speak to them in English. Cool, I could finally speak to someone in English because like I never spoke with my mom in English. My dad worked abroad, but he never really spoke to me in English even when he was home. I was left kind of disappointed because when I heard our English teachers speak English for the first time, or like use English words, like to introduce it to us, they were teaching us in fully. I'm Cebuano, by the way, and not Tagalog. They didn't. They just used Cebuano the whole time, unless if they needed to say an English word. And when they did say the English words, it sounded very different from what I thought, from how I thought English should have been spoken. Which was, the only reference I had was just those people on TV, on HBO, on Cinemax, Star Movies, Cartoon Network, and Disney. And then I specifically remember this feeling. RJ trying not to talk about the rules. Shh, shh, shush. You no. Shh. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. I did not get a good artifact while specifically trying to avoid talking about decent rolls. No, that didn't happen. Nothing happened. Nothing like that happened at all. No. Nada. Shh, shh. It's moving on. It was okay. A lot of all good rolls, and by good rolls I mean like they all rolled into the right substats. Sure, great, happy about it, but very low rolls. Most of them were low rolls, unfortunately. 2 rolls of crit damage on only 11.7, which means like, what is that, like 6 point ish something. 11.7 divided by 2 is 5.85 a roll, like average. It's very low, because like the highest roll crit damage is 7.8, right? But I'm happy, at least it's something, I guess. Did you watch Ben 10 Alien Force, my favorite cartoon? I didn't get to watch Ben 10 Alien Force was like when he was a teenager, right? When they were teenagers. I got to watch a few episodes of that, but I didn't get to watch like every single one, in specific order, in the right order. I did watch the heck out of like the OG Ben 10 though. Yeah, I like Ben 10 Alien Force though. I also remember seeing that one episode where Ben unlocked the Omnitrix, where he could just do whatever anytime, and that was pretty cool. But then also I remember being really disappointed when in the same episode he had to what was it again? Like he had to, I don't remember, but I remember either he had to like take it off like to save someone, or and that reset the thing, and or like I don't remember, but essentially he got a huge power up by completely unlocking it, and then I guess the writers of the story thought he's too OP now. Nobody's gonna be able to beat him. None of the bad guys are gonna matter. So well, let's it's similar in similar fashion to how, if I don't know if you guys watch Naruto or and have been reading or watching Boruto, but in Boruto, they the way that they've decided to give way to Boruto and the rest of the cast to shine is by depowering Naruto and Sasuke. And spoiler alert, by the way, Sasuke loses his Rinnegan. Naruto loses Kurama. He doesn't die. No. It's like very different. It's a very what? No. I timed out. I timed out of the domain. That was awful. Okay. Where was that? This thing. Okay. Yeah, so I guess they did, like in Ben 10, in that specific episode, the writers thought, okay, well, Ben 10's pretty strong now. We're gonna need to find a way to make bad guys relevant. I'm 13, but I watched every Ben 10 episode because that is how much I love Ben 10. Ben 10 is really cool, man. I don't like the new Ben 10. Like, I don't know what if you guys know what I'm talking about, but I remember there's this like not new like today happening new, but like new like the different art style Ben 10. I really prefer the OG Ben 10. And not just because of the art style, I just liked the pacing and the writing and the jokes. Just for me, were just seemed a lot more natural. If you guys like Ben 10, you guys are probably gonna love Teen Titans, and not the whatever kiddie version of Teen Titans we have now. I'm talking about like the real one, like the OG Teen Titans on Cartoon Network. That was great. Ben 10 reboot trash. I know, right? Like, I don't like it. And I guess they're probably trying to target a much younger audience compared to what Ben 10 was originally. Especially because like Ben 10 originally was obviously for about the same age children that they're trying to target with the Ben 10 reboot now. But because laws and policies, I don't know, guidelines, I guess, were just a lot more different back then than they are now. That's sort of why we have a lot of these like baby kiddie shows. I hate it. I hate that like there are no more fun cartoons to watch. They're essentially, a lot of the cartoons nowadays are just how would I best describe it? Essentially Coco Melon videos using different IP. That's sort of how I how I would describe a lot of the cartoons nowadays on Cartoon Network. And Disney, obviously they have like their traditional like their like princess movies and stuff like that, kind of following trying their best to follow the same sort of formula that has been working for them like for all these decades with a lot of their different princess movies. But then everything else, like cartoon shows, TV shows, just, man, essentially Coco Melon videos, but just using their own IP.
Ad Astra.
I remember seeing that episode where Kevin was they went to a different universe, and they were fighting. Who was that bad guy? I don't remember that bad guy, but he was pretty strong. They were way past Vilgax at that point. They went to a different universe to try and find the guy, and at some point Kevin had no choice but to absorb the powers from the Omnitrix, and then he ended up sort of getting becoming weird and corrupted and stuff, and then he just left. I remember feeling kind of sad that happened, because they were all a gang at that point. They Gwen and Kevin were sort of together. Ben was friends, friends in air quotes with Kevin, frenemies, I guess. And then Kevin sort of just left. This patch isn't for weapons? What do you mean? Like you're wishing on the weapon banner and it's just not happening for you? Or are you saying that the weapons on the banner this patch aren't that good?
Now you shall perish.
Isn't he just making rip-offs from their old cartoons? That's essentially what they're doing. Speaking of rip-offs, I prefer OG Ben 10 too, when they were still kids, not college students. Yeah, right? I that was kind of cool, right? Especially because the Ben 10, when they were teenagers, I was also a little older then, so I felt a little more connected to them, a little more I could relate to them, because they were, they were older and I was older as well. But I still definitely preferred the OG one when they were kids. Sorry, Elijah, I just saw your message. I was rambling for so long. Sorry. Been meaning to ask RJ, are any of the character weapons any good? Right now? Oh, I guess that's what Nashidi was asking. Was answering. So these weapons right now, Elijah? I guess you're asking about these, right? OG Ben 10 lacks emotion. I think you're more referring to just the slow pace of the writing. Yeah, I do remember the OG Ben 10, when they were kids, the writing was a lot more slower paced, and it was more how would I best describe it? It felt similar to Avatar: The Last Airbender, right? Where they would take every story would just be filled with lots of little details that don't really add anything or change the direction of the story, but then they'll all add to personality to every character. They were all characterized. Obviously not as great as Avatar: The Last Airbender, but it had those little details. It was also, again, the main story was also a lot slower paced. I was saying earlier, speaking of rip-offs, so what I know that there's a new-ish Tom and Jerry, right? I have no idea what it's even called. I think they just call it the Tom and Jerry show, I guess. But man, is that even Tom? Is that actually Tom and Jerry? Is that really Tom and Jerry? I really can't say yes, no matter how someone paints it. It's sure it looks like Tom, sure it looks like Jerry, and they're doing their Tom and Jerry thing, but the DNA just isn't there. It's not funny. Nowadays I have a few students that I watch Tom and Jerry with, and I use that to introduce them to different English words. Really, really young kids, and while I'm watching it with them, I'm trying to because I am 31 years old. I've seen so many of these episodes before, and I still laugh at them, even though I remember what's gonna happen. I still laugh at them. I still laugh out loud at them. And I'm like, sometimes I'll just like stop and be quiet and think about, why was that so funny? And then I'll some of the basic stuff that I can easily tell are probably just how perfectly matched the music is to what's happening on the screen. And there's also stuff like camera shake. They use it really well, camera shake, and obviously it's not a real camera because obviously it's 2D animations drawn on paper. It's like pretend camera shake. It's just used really well. Other than that, like just the animations just also seem so I can't use any other words. I can't think of any other words to describe it, but other than motivated. Like the animators, like I'm looking at the 2D animations of like the OG Tom and Jerry, and like every animation I see, every like movement, whatever, every time Tom gets squished, Jerry gets flattened, whatever, like all the animations, like the panic animations, the scared animations, everything, and like, it's not even just the animation, it's also like the way that they visualize, like Tom getting scared, Tom screaming, and then like the sound of the trumpet going clang, going like that, like as soon as like he's like he's panicking, it just all matches so well, and none of it is repetitive. Every time is different. It's like that. Despite hearing the Tom scream that like very often, how it happens, it just seems to be different every time, and like there's like a certain level of creativity to come up with something new every single time, and how to animate it, how to make it look funny, and the sound design as well, how to make it sound funny compared to whatever Tom and Jerry is now. And earlier I was talking about ripoffs, and I remember seeing this cartoon. It's a new-ish cartoon called something Lemmings. It's a bear and cat-like creatures. It's fully 3D animated with a little hint of 2D things every now and then. Things that probably would have taken a lot of effort to make in 3D, so they decided to just make it 2D, stuff like that. And it also adds to their specific like art style as well. It certainly seems like they're trying to go for the Tom and Jerry DNA, but it's very different. The camera angles, the music just doesn't work very well. Just doesn't work as well as like how Tom and Jerry did it. The camera angles aren't that good. There's like no use of camera shake at all. Camera shake is used very in a very corny way, I think. Never mess with Raiden Shogun. She's not only use a spear, but her burst's dangerous as well. She pulls out her sword. You know, it's Raiden Shogun pulling out her sword is not only dangerous for the enemies, it's also dangerous for some of us players as well. Yeah, it's quite dangerous to some of us. Also, to answer your question, Elijah, any character weapons like any good? I mean, meaning to say on the way, mate. Are any of the character weapons like any good? I've been meaning to say that on the way. Okay. RJ, can you shout out to my friend Nick Gers? Is that like his YouTube name? Or is that his actual IRL name? Anyway, what's up, Nick Gers? Kazuha of YouTube asked for a shout out. I don't think a shout out works, especially at my like size of audience, but hey, here it is. It's on the internet now. So okay, so for the current weapon banners, this is Xianyun, there you go. This is Xianyun's weapon, right? Crane's echoing call. This is Xianyun's weapon. And it's actually pretty good on her. So, because you on Xianyun you want a lot of attack, and this has a lot of attack. It has a really high base attack and attack percent as a substat, and usually on characters like that. So the closest character to the way Xianyun works is Shunhe. And in Shunhe's case, she has a very similar weapon to this, except it's a pole arm, and it has nothing to do with energy or energy recharge. Hello, Bavish. What's up, man? And so while this one and okay, the importance of energy is obviously, I'm sure you know how your burst works, right? You can't use it if you don't have energy, and that's why a lot of characters are built with a lot of energy recharge on them. Like in my case, see, like I essentially most of my characters have like at least 170 energy recharge. I don't think I have a single character who relies on their burst that has less than 170 energy recharge. My Kazuha I don't really burst on Kazuha very often, but still has decent amount of energy recharge. Ganyu doesn't really rely on her burst very much, especially because I don't use Ganyu in freeze. At least like there's no appropriate place to use Ganyu in freeze nowadays. I don't use my Nahida burst very often. I just use it whenever it's available because like the animation is so long, and the amount of damage that I get compared to I get from the burst compared to the amount of damage I lose from just standing there for 3 seconds because of my burst animation is about the same. So I hardly ever use her burst. Yelan, a lot of energy recharge. Hu Tao is not burst reliant. Kuki is not burst reliant. Fischl is not really burst reliant, well, kind of, but not really. But she also generates a lot of energy. Yao Yao not burst reliant, just kind of burst reliant. Xingqiu has a lot of energy recharge. Yeah, you get what I mean, right? Like, energy recharge is important. And so, Crane's Echoing Call, pretty good weapon on only Xianyun. Only Xianyun. It's just basically a completely useless weapon on anybody else. I guess I don't know. Like, hang on, maybe I'm being too hard on this thing. Maybe it's usable on somebody else. Equipping character hits an opponent with after the equipping character plunging attack. Okay. All nearby party members plunging attack with wheel. Okay. Nearby party members hit with plunging attacks. Restore energy to the equipping character. Can nearby. It says nearby. So can the user do plunge and then restore energy to themselves? I imagine no, because it says nearby party members. Equipping character energy can be restored 0.7 triggered. Okay. So I guess essentially the energy part of this is useless if you use it on somebody, on your on-field character. At least according to this wording. So yeah, this is a weapon that is only really good on Xianyun. I guess sure you can use it. Technically, you can use it on anybody else, but it's I wouldn't recommend it. This weapon definitely, obviously it's Nahida's weapon. It's okay, but Nahida, like the damage difference between this and her other like free to play or 4-star or low budget options, it's noticeable, but it's not gonna be the difference between life and death. Yeah, it's not like Ooh. Okay. It's not like the difference between an Al-Haytham who's just using Harbinger of Dawn and his signature weapon. Right? It's not like that. Al-Haytham with Harbinger of Dawn still pretty good, but Al-Haytham with his signature weapon is like night and day. While this weapon on Nahida, compared to her other free-to-play, low-budget, cheap options, is not night and day. It's more like afternoon and noon. It's more like 3 o'clock and lunchtime difference. But overall, they're not bad. They're not They're not Calamity Queller. they're not. They're not Jade Spear. They're not Jade Wing Spear. But they're also not amazing. And also, Xianyu's plunging attack. She kind of like homes in on enemies. By the way, yeah, that's just auto targeting in general. Yeah, essentially, like I said, these weapons are not terrible. They're good on the characters they're designed for, but otherwise almost completely useless. But also not that much better. Like just better. Yeah, quite better than their like cheap free to play counterparts. It's noticeable, but not night and day difference. I believe I'm done on this account. Okay. And I don't think... Okay, no. I don't need to condense resin before tomorrow. Why does Cloud Retainer weapon look like a 2D model? Maybe because it's a fan. I mean, it literally is a fan, and a fan is well, it's flat, right? So I imagine it's kind of hard to make a flat object, like even IRL, look 3D in a game. How your Hu Tao is doing 40k with Homa and the same circumstances. My Hu Tao is doing 44k with Dragon's Bane. Because that was above 50% HP and without Yelan passive. Because remember, I just activated Xingqiu's burst and I just started charged attacking. Okay, so I'm on my third account now, and this has a slightly different build. Has some EM, but a lot less crit damage. So I guess you wanted to see like how, like, I guess what you essentially are looking for, David, is you're trying to see like how, like, I guess you want confirmation whether your Hu Tao is good enough or not, or like you also want to see where your Hu Tao is at. Yeah, I guess I know what you mean. All right, let's try like fully dishing out damage then. Also, probably because your Hu Tao is, maybe you just have a lot more crit damage. Also, Dragon's Bane. Oh, and when I say a lot more crit damage, I'm talking about like taking off Homa crit damage. Whenever a character is using a crit rate or crit damage weapon, that's generally I generally try to remove the crit rate or crit damage that the weapon gives before I will say, okay, that's a good ratio. Yeah, because...
Gather!
Let me read your breath. Gotcha. Game's up. Time's over.
Oh, this is... I should not have shielded up. Okay. I'm still above... Still above 50%. I should at least get my energy back up.
Rain outlines your fate. Busted. Things are about to get dicey. Rain cutter.
Stabilize.
My ping on this account seems a bit more normal. Oh man, I'm still above 50% HP. Wait, how am I above 50% HP? I already used my skill twice. Oh, did I get the Xingqiu Rainsword healing? And I got it again. I got it again. Alright. Yeah, see? 198 crit damage? That's a lot more crit damage than my second account, Hu Tao. Because my second account, Hu Tao, only had, I don't remember, 230-ish crit damage. right? And like, here's the thing though. Imagine Homa being almost sort of exactly the same as Dragonsbane. Right? Dragonsbane R1 is just, you know, a bit weaker than R1 Homa. But once you get to R3, R3, I would say R3 is like the almost completely equal to Homa. But then that obviously that depends on your stat distribution. But then, okay, so essentially think about it this way. Let's say so you have R2 Dragonsbane, and R3 or higher Dragonsbane is almost exactly as strong as Homa, or Homa R1. And so take that into account and remove the weapon. In your case, because Dragonsbane is not a crit weapon, your crit ratios are still exactly 73-198. But once you take away the crit from Homa, you know, off of my Huatao, which only had, I think it was like 237 crit damage, you take away 66 from that. So I have a lot less crit damage than you. And you have EM, and you have the Dragon's Bane passive. Do you get what I mean? Like, there's like a what's the word I'm looking for? There's like different trade-offs for different stats that you have. Right? Like your crit ratio like include like your final crit ratio is not fully reflective of how strong your character is. At least this is how I look at characters. Like, this is how I do what people refer to as feels crafting. Is when I look at a character's crit ratio, and then I see that it's a really high crit rate or crit damage, etc. I'll think about, okay, is this like a Ganyu, a Nevillet, or you know, a character that has like crit rate or crit damage ascension stat? And I look at their weapon. If their weapon's a crit rate or crit damage weapon, then I'll try to like remove the crit value from the weapon, and then I'll decide if their crit ratio is actually good. Because crit ratio, like the only crit ratio that I sort of really look at is just the crit ratio that you get from your artifacts, right? Like from your circlet main stat and your substats. And if it's if it's good, if it looks really good, but then you have a crit damage weapon, like let's say, like on Al-Haytham, for example. On Al-Haytham, he has an 88 crit damage signature weapon. So if your crit damage on Al-Haytham is, let's say, 85 200. Yeah, let's say 85 200, but you have his signature weapon. So essentially your crit ratio without the weapon is only 85. Q and dial up tone, and then Q and on the screen trying to do math lol. Failing to do math lol. Yeah, put it on the screen. 88 112. There you go. 112 crit damage. Right? So all of a sudden you take away the weapon, that crit ratio is not looking that healthy. Maybe I won't need Homa if I get R3 Dragonsbane? No, yeah, really. Like, most people, like, once they have, maybe R1 Dragonsbane, they will still try to get Homa. But R2 or higher, I think you should just stick to it, man. Unless if you really just want to complete the set. You know, like, some people like that. Yeah, some people like to complete the set, you know, kind of like me. I wanted to complete the set. Plus the fact that having Homa just makes it easier to build her crit ratio to a usable level. Because, okay, let's say in my case, for example, let's say, okay, on this account, right? Like, I've never farmed the Crimson Omen on this account. I just strongboxed Like, I just did one session of strongboxing and I got whatever I had, and then I was like, okay, well, including Homa, sure, usable, great, whatever. I'm gonna stop this now. I'm gonna go back to farming what I want to farm. Goodbye, Crimson. So the nice thing about having crit rate, crit damage weapons is it makes it so that you get to a usable crit ratio a lot easier, and you don't need as good artifacts like when it comes to like, for example, okay, all right, like in this case, for example, so on my sands, I don't have a lot of, like, they're low rolls, right? Low roll crit damage, low roll crit rate. Wow, that's actually pretty high roll EM. Okay, yeah, pretty high roll EM. Now, if you think about it, all these stats are valuable. They're all the correct stats that Hu Tao can fully utilize and, like, are completely useful to her. But then you look at it, let's say if I didn't have Homa, I'll think, oh, my crit damage is still really low. So I'm like, this artifact is good, but I want more crit damage, right? And then you'll think, like, you won't think that, wow, this EM is great, right? Like, you won't think that because, like, you're thinking you need more crit damage because your crit ratio is like 75 130, right? So, okay, let's see what else is a good example of this. Okay, yeah, this is a good example. So, right, I had a lot of rolls go into a stat that I would not have preferred. And I would have preferred that went into crit damage, because I'm pretty happy with the amount of crit rate that I have. I mean, I would be happier if I got to like 85 or 90, sure. But because it didn't go into these two, now I'm lacking crit damage. But that is without Homa. All right, if I switch over to my Dragon's Bane. So 75 144, still usable, but still like 75 210, definitely a lot better. Oh no, yeah. All right, here we go. Right, so it just makes building, getting the minimum usable crit ratio on a character easier, and it also means that your non-crit substats are a lot more valuable. Like here, for example, I have 72 EM on this, on this circlet, right? So if I didn't have Homa, I would have just thought, man, that's good EM, but I really need crit damage. So I probably would not be using this piece. Yeah, so essentially, crit weapons are sort of like a cheese. Like, they make it easier to build a character's crit ratio, and at the same time, they're not bad. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying it's just, because most people are sort of tuned to look for crit in their roles. Most people tend to have a lot of crit rate and crit damage in their substats, and sort of, people tend to ignore other stats like EM or attack or HP or whatever, or even ER. And because of that, when they do use a crit weapon, their crit ratios all of a sudden really bloated. I have R5 Dragon's Bane, but no Hu Tao, lol. It's fine. You can still use it on your Raiden Shogun. You can still use it on your full EM Raiden Shogun, man. Oh, you know what? I don't need to switch teams, actually. I'll just do this. My ping is down to 230, but it still doesn't feel like it's 230. It still feels more like 260. Yeah, still definitely feels a lot more like 260 than 230. When you have Dragon's Bane, you want crit damage on substats, and when you have Homa, you need EM and substats. Essentially, yeah, like just, you know, stat distribution. Stat distribution. Not necessarily dragon crit damage, but like, yeah, crit. Yeah, you want more crit, you want more HP, and depending on what your Sand's main stat is, if you have an EM Sand's main stat, then you definitely want to get more EM substats, right, from your artifacts, and you also might prefer an EM weapon, but then having an EM weapon and an EM main stat on the Sands means you have a lot of EM already, but then now you're gonna have to rely solely on your substats and your circlet for your crit value, right? Like, so it's just stat distribution. I'll never pull Hu Tao again. Again? What do you mean? You do have Hu Tao? What do you mean never pull on Hu Tao again? Assuming you have a stable, same crit rate with both weapons builds. Yes.
Illusion shattered.
Everybody stand back! Let's light it up!
Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, Ryu? Izan, Ryu. Izan, is that Izan? Izan? What's up, man? How you doing? With the name Izan before Ryu, I'm just gonna guess that Ryu is not Ryu Lion from Danmachi. Forgive me. I'm a big fan. I'm a fan of Ryu Lion from Danmachi. I just really like her character. Very independent. Honestly, I wish that Belle ends up with Ryu instead of Ace, because I don't know. Ace just doesn't feel like she's done much to the story. She's had much impact to the story. Hunter's Path Nivellet. What? Hunter's Path Nivellet? Hunter's Path is Kainari's weapon. It's a bow. He just called me Ryu. Thank you, man. No, Pollo doesn't power creep Nivellet. Dude, even if they power creep Nivellet, that doesn't mean Nivellet will get weaker, right? They'll still be just as strong as they always have been. What cons is your Raiden? I'm on my 3rd account now, and Raiden on this account is just C0. My main and 2nd accounts just recently got her to C3. Pretty happy about that. Although I'm not very happy about the rumors that I'm hearing about who are rerunning in 4.5. If those rumors end up coming true...
There is no escape.
What is this immune to? I didn't even pay attention. Hydro damage. Okay, that sucks. Oh.
Teamwork is dreamwork!
You're toast.
Ah!
Race you.
Ow. Yeah, so if the rumors do end up coming true about who's rerunning on 4.5, that's the only reason. It's the only thing that I wouldn't say I regret pulling for C3 Raiden Shogun recently in her most recent rerun, but it sort of does make me feel bad that I'm finally finished with this one character, but now I have to skip all these other characters as well. Does anyone know when Ishu Tao? when is Hu Tao? Oh. All right. Rip. Hu Tao rerun. I imagine it's probably going to be a while. Hu Tao doesn't seem to be the type of character that Hoyo likes to rerun very often. I think hasn't Hu Tao only had 2 reruns so far? Maybe 3? I mean, I could be wrong. But yeah, she's not one of those characters that has had a lot of reruns.
Gather.
Also, there's still so many characters in well, I wouldn't say so many characters, but there's still quite a few Fontaine characters that haven't been released yet. So yeah, I don't know how they're gonna make room for a Hu Tao rerun. I have one choice, Nivellate or Arlecchino? Oh, definitely Nivellate. I'm not really that into Arlecchino. Like, I don't know what it is about Arlecchino's design. I'm not that into her design. Unless if, you know, unless if her kit is really good. But I haven't really heard of anything about how she works, so... zero interest. Nivellate, I already know how he works. I already know, right, like what he does, how he is, etc. So easily Nivellate. It's really good. People are saying she'll be more stronger than Nivellate. Sure, but you know, I'm a believe it when I see it kind of guy, so I'll believe it when I see it. The only things I do believe in when it comes to leaked information is just how their kits work, like their mechanics. But when it comes to actual damage, no. It's very difficult to believe in stuff like that because that's just basic math. That's just basic math. As for the mechanics and how somebody's kit works, how somebody's kit interacts with other character kits, that is something that you cannot just change, right? Like for example, closed beta test, somebody has X multiplier and is really OP and like power creeps everybody in the game. The day when the character gets released, Hoyo could just say, "Psych! You're not getting an OP character. You're getting a Dia 2.0. That's what you're getting, right? Like it's just a pure math thing when it, you know, damage." So yeah, I don't believe in like. That's why I don't look at multipliers. I don't look at how much somebody does, how much damage somebody does. Whenever somebody like, I never like pay attention to or even think about or ask. Whenever somebody talks about leaks or whatever, you know, generally I'll try to avoid them. But if somebody, you know, somebody talks about it on stream, I'm like, okay, well, it's in my brain now. What am I gonna do about it? Lynette is the new version of Ganyu. Do you do account reviews? Not forcing though. I used to, yeah, but I used to, and then like I sort of stopped, mostly because I sort of just didn't really have enough time. Most of the time, like by the time that I have time to stream, I usually just have like stuff to do in the game, like what I'm doing now. I'm doing all my weeklies, my dailies, and after this, I'm gonna have to do like exploration on my main account in the new region,
Outlines your fate.
at least for one of the sub-regions.
Go.
Gather.
Okay, come on. And
Gotcha.
yeah.
Here comes the catch.
Alright, that was decent. I did that pretty well. Oh my god, I hate these colliders. They just lift you up into the air and like you can't do anything about it anymore.
Stabilize.
Anyway, by colliders, I'm talking about like the collider like 3D mesh. It's sort of like an invisible 3D model, but it is what provides like the physics of anything in anything 3D. And when I say physics, I mean like where like this guy, for example, is pushing me because he has a collider mesh. If he doesn't have a collider mesh, then I would just be able to see him, but I would just pass right through him. But yeah, like sometimes I do, but like really quick ones, and I typically don't show them off on the screen because like, I used to do them, right? And I used to do them pretty frequently too. I would do like a dozen in a row, and then people, before I started streaming, like obviously I watched other Genshin creators, right? I watched other Genshin YouTubers. I don't really watch Twitch, but YouTube. And when I was, a long time ago, I actually really liked watching other content creators account review videos. Like I see thumbnail, title, account review, anything that had something to do with an account review, I'm like, all right, click. But then I noticed that they don't do it that much, right? Like, and they know that it gets a lot of views. But I always wondered why content creators didn't do that more often. And then when I started doing it, like when me streaming and stuff. Are you an Asia server, by the way? No, I'm on the NA server. Weird stuff though. I am physically located in Asia, but all my accounts are on NA. Ryelon, I see. She always has her signature. Simulacra. I don't like Simulacra on Yelan. Unless if you're like R5, C6 and like speed running, sure. But other than anything less than that, no. Don't like Simulacra. Yelan. Just very low ER. And to even get to the enough energy recharge on Yelan, that is like a usable amount of energy recharge on Yelan, you're gonna need to not have to sacrifice a lot of crit substats just to get enough energy recharge on Yelan. So I'd rather, if I don't have C2 and I don't have a lot of ER substats, then I will just not use Simulacra. I do have Simulacra on this guy. Like, look at this, by the way. Yeah, I have Simulacra on this account. On my which account was it? Second account? Yeah, on my second account I have R2 Simulacra because like I went ham on Linny's banner back then, Linny's and Yelan's weapon banner back then, because I wanted this for my Ganyu, because my second and third accounts just for some reason never got their ammo spos. Like I never got an ammo spo from the standard banner. Yeah, and I just, and whenever I didn't get the weapon that I wanted on the weapon banners that I wished on, I would just get like some, like, okay, well, these are good. I'm happy about these two, but like this one, yikes. Nope.
Let me leave you alone.
boss is so annoying. I do find this boss annoying because it is so time consuming, and like
No, my sword.
it doesn't even have that much HP. So it makes it makes me feel like me building my characters well and doing a lot of damage essentially useless because this fight still takes so long. Despite how well my characters are built,
Stabilize.
despite how much effort I've put into making my character stronger.
Busted. Things are about to get dicey. Rain outlines your fate. No, my sword.
Anyway, I was saying earlier about the account review thing, and so I used to do it a lot, right? And then what I slowly started to notice is
Solidify.
some people would start saying, "Hey, review my account next," and so maybe this is just me. Maybe this is just me. Maybe it's just a personal thing. But for me, an account review is when I typically want to do them if somebody needs help with their account.
Gather.
Like somebody isn't sure about their account, or
Busted.
like they don't know what to do. Like something's wrong. They feel like something's wrong with it, but they don't know what to do from here on out. That's typically why I do account reviews, and I like doing that. Even though I'm not the best at building characters in Genshin, but I like to do that problem solving.
Solidify.
Quietly now.
I don't know why. I just really like the problem solving aspect of it. Like if the problem is I don't crit very much. Okay, I like to think about like, looking at their crit rate and thinking about like how to solve their problem. I don't know why I like that, but I do. So at some point, people would just come in, drop their UID, and say, "Review my account, review my Hu Tao, review my Ayaka," and then I look at their characters, I look at their builds, and I can see somebody who knows exactly what they're doing, who clearly can see that this character that they're specifically asking to review is clearly already in their endgame build. And the fact that it's gotten there means the guy knows exactly what they're doing. They know exactly if that character is already... like, if they could stop building that character or not. And they're just there to flex. They're just there to say, "Hey, can you review my Hu Tao? I need to know if she's good enough." Right? It's like a flex, but not really. Like I'm not trying to flex, but like if you just look at my bicep, if I do this, right, and like proceeds to flex. Like I want to know, like, what do you think of my bicep, and like flexing, right? Is it big enough? I hate it when people do that. If they want to flex, then flex. If you're afraid to flex because you think it's not a good flex, if you think your muscles just aren't big enough, then don't flex. Just that simple. You do an account review by taking their account. I mean, it's more interesting that way. No, I don't log into people's accounts because I prefer not to. Because it is very much a security risk, and I'm pretty sure Hoyo has something in their EULA, their end user license agreement, that is probably against sharing accounts. I'm pretty sure they have something. On top of that, I might not do anything with your account information, but what if somehow my computer or network
cycle
gets compromised or something, and and that information is like, it was on my clipboard because I copied and pasted it. It was on my clipboard, or it was like because I had to look at it on Discord. Somebody DM'd it to me, and now somebody who was looking at my screen was now also able to see it.
1,000 eons, mine to dominate.
Right, so yeah, there's always some form of security risk. So the less people that you give your passwords and stuff,
Burn to
the better.
oblivion!
Whether you trust them or not, they're not a security expert, so you don't know how secure
Kneel!
everything they have is. I deserve an account review by that logic. I'm just 3 months into the game and genuinely need guidance. I'm doing things right. I mean, yeah, sure. Yeah, feel free to ask questions, dude. In fact, that's literally why I created my Discord server. I created my Discord server specifically
Reality?
so that I could
Pain!
so people who like when I started streaming, every
Good
now and then
riddance,
some people were coming in
cruel world.
to chat asking for help, and some of the questions I could just directly answer without needing to know anything about their account, just general questions. But some questions were more specific and needed me to know a bit more about their accounts before I could give them a proper answer. And obviously, you guys can't send screenshots in YouTube chat, so that's what the Discord server was for. In fact, I actually, for whoever, yeah, for those of you here who are on our Discord server, you'll probably see there's like a million different channels now on our Discord server. When I started the server, I didn't even have any channels. It was just the main channel, and that's it. Like, no reason for me back then to have multiple different channels. And now the Discord server has sort of just become a community of its own.
I can't lose it all again.
At this point, the game sounds louder than your voice. Speak louder, please. Put your mic closer. No, it's just that boss. I don't know why the Scaramouche weekly boss is louder than, like, it's way louder than everything else in the game. Like, you'll see me like out and about doing combat, even in Abyss. Even in Abyss, when there's like a bunch of stuff happening, like everything is like pretty tamed. And then like you go into the Scaramouche weekly boss fight and you're like, oh, everything is just so loud. That's why I don't like that. One of the many reasons why I don't like the Scaramouche weekly boss fight. In fact, I actually don't like a lot of the newer weekly bosses. Like, I like the Rite and Shogun weekly boss fight because, like, it's, you know, it's exciting, and they're like, because it's really aggressive, but not aggressive to the point that they're annoying, because they're aggressive but predictable, and not aggressive and random. Just, you know, like the something beasts, constipated beasts. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, I don't like these weekly bosses that have multiple phases, and some of the phases don't even bother to take your damage into account. And I hate it so much because there's like, I put in so much effort to build my characters
Thank you for
and build my teams and like make proper teams that synergize well together. And then like they give me these enemies that where all my damage doesn't matter. Because I just have to wait for the mechanic, like the enemy mechanics, like for when I can do what I should be doing. Your favorite weekly boss is Child. At this point, the Child weekly boss is like really low HP. Yeah, the boss's HPs didn't really. And I understand why they set a lot of the enemy HPs back then really low, because they knew that the game had just started. They knew that basically nobody would have had good artifacts just yet. Everyone was just like AR-35, AR-40, stuff like that. And so they didn't want people to be like in boss fights for like 2 hours. And I understand why they did that, and I also understand why they've been raising enemy HPs by a lot.
Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember. But where are those who share the memory?
It's kind of weird that Hoyo seems to have power crept, so the enemy HPs, but they also power crept quite a bit on damage multipliers, right? Like way back then, like in 1.0, the amount of the total amount of multipliers that a character like Al Haytham can dish out, or a character like Nivelle can dish out, it's unthinkable compared to how much the total multipliers characters from 1.0 could dish out. Like, well, okay, except Xiangling. Xiangling has always been Xiangling. Cookie there. Alright, who should I put in now? Alright, I guess that's it. I'm so out of Mora. I can't upgrade anything at this point. Should have heard Paimon. You know? Oh, you said you've only been playing for about 3 months, Thriller? That sounds like you're probably somewhere around AR. If you've been playing like really actively, and you know, you at least are not stupid like I was. I'm not very smart. So when I started playing Genshin, I had no idea what to do. I had no idea where to look for what I needed to know. So I just sort of did stuff. I raised characters, I raised weapons. In fact, my main account has White Blind raised specifically just for Noelle. And Noelle back then was decent. But at C0, and no Farina, no Goro, no Geo supports. No. No. I even raised Ningguang. I raised Keqing before Dendro. This was way before Dendro. I raised Keqing. I raised the flute. I put the flute on Keqing because I thought, I want more attack. Then yeah, like by 3 months, typically you'll be at around AR 45-ish or somewhere close, or maybe just recently turned AR 46, or like almost AR 46. And around that time is typically when you are trying to raise so many characters and weapons that you are so short on resin that you can't even use you can hardly use any resin to farm artifacts. Most of your resin is still usually going towards world bosses to try and ascend your supports and talent domains and weapon ascension material domains, etc. And you know, along with all of that, because every single upgrade that you do requires Mora, it's also the time when typically accounts just are kind of broke. This is sort of like a real person's teenage years, yeah. You're experiencing a lot more freedom because your account is quite a bit stronger and is old enough to start dealing with stuff on their own, but not really, lol, because you're broke. Yeah, exactly like teenage years of a real person. Hey, what's up, Rishi Seyon? What's up, man? What's up, Rishi Seyon? How you doing, man? Nothing much, just doing weeklies and resin stuff, and then we're gonna be doing some exploration in Chenyu Vale after this. I got Xianyun and Nahida at 23 pity. Xianyun and Nahida, nice. Congrats, man. Nahida's really gonna rock your world. Xianyun's more like the type of character that makes your not fun to play characters anymore fun. How are you doing? I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm a little not gonna lie. I kind of want to stop stream now and just want to kind of go to bed. And I think that choice was made for me because my internet is being a brat again. My bitrate is all over the place again. Just like earlier in the stream today, about like 2 hours ago. Okay. Alright, the stream might start buffering here, guys. My bitrate is just... Man, my internet is really killing me here. Really killing the mood. Okay, seems alright now. Seems to have gone back to normal, but man. You do exploration with gods or just randomly? Oh yeah, Thriller. I actually answered this question earlier. You weren't here. I remember seeing your question from earlier, like the previous stream that I decided to just cut off because the internet just sucked. So yeah, I just followed somebody's video. Man, am I even gonna be able to do that today? I'm finally done with my resin stuff and like my internet just doesn't want to cooperate. I need Gaming instead of Xianyun. Really? You need an on-field DPS more than a support? Alright. Some of you guys might see the stream buffer from here on out. Maybe latency is going all over the place again.
There'll be an extra fee for that.
Or, no, sorry, not latency. Bitrate. Bitrate. Yeah, I think I might just do that. I mean, I might have to actually change the VOD title to something else. Because I didn't actually get to do any exploration today. Man. Sag. Anyway, earlier I did say that I kind of wish I could just stop the stream and just go to bed. I'm kind of sleepy. I streamed yesterday and I went to bed quite late and I had to wake up quite early this morning because I had stuff to do at home. So yeah, that's why I'm kind of tired early today. That plus the fact that my internet isn't really cooperating right now, so I think this is my internet trying to tell me time for bed. Right? Wonder what we can change the VOD title to. Oh, how many days we got left? 8 days, okay. Anyway, I got plenty of time to stream tomorrow. No, I was just changing the VOD title to something else. I mean, I don't think that's appropriate. I changed it to 1 week left. 1 week left. Skip Xianyun and Nahida or not, and we didn't really talk about them this stream. And if I end stream now, then we won't have another chance to talk about them. So I feel like that's not an appropriate title for this stream. Anyway, I guess I'll think of a different title then. Man, I really wish I could get the exploration over with. I still have to do it on my second and third accounts. I still have so much to do. I haven't even gotten to Xianyun's story quest yet. Like nothing, none on any of my accounts. I have so much stuff to do, and I have so little time to do them. Especially nowadays that one of my like relaxation-ish games recently, I've started to play StarCraft again recently. So yeah, that's also taking up my time. Oh man, I guess I'll just have to do it tomorrow. Probably have to come up with a different title for this VOD then. Anyway, so yeah, in case any of you guys need any help building your characters, accounts, making a decision which marriage to pull for, feel free to join our Discord server. Links are in the description of all my videos, VODs, and streams. You can ask for my opinion over there. You can ping me. My name is Elvis Einstein on our Discord server. You can ask for other people's opinion over there on our Discord server. Thank you guys so much for coming by, hanging out, and being awesome people. Have a good day, good afternoon, good evening, and take care, everybody. Bye, guys. Have a good night. Or good day, or good evening, wherever you are. Bye. StarCraft. It's like a 20-year-old game. It's an RTS. StarCraft Brood War.